I'm Lisa Dalton, and I am performing the solo show of Anton Chekhov's The Darling, directed by Viktor S. Tkachenko. And it will open in the world premiere at the Pentagles Theater in Fort Worth on July 28th, 29th, and 30th. And then it will go to New York, to the New York International Fringe Festival, where I will be performing on August 13th, 14th, 20th, 21st, 26th, and 27th. Victor and I, my director, met at the Sorbonne at an International Michael Chekhov Association symposium in 2007, and we appreciated each other's work there. Victor is the founder of the Michael Chekhov International Center in Ridgefield, Connecticut now. And last year he invited me to come to the second Michael Chekhov Theater Festival in Ridgefield, Connecticut, and I was the host, one of the hosts and the keynote speaker for the opening events. And while there, we hatched this idea of working together, and we contemplated a lot of different stories, a lot of different authors, and then we arrived at Anton Chekhov because Victor has a very in-depth knowledge of his work, and he felt that the story The Darling had something meaningful to bring forth in today's world. Olenka is a woman who tends to love deeply and passionately all of the time. And if she doesn't have someone to love and have someone respond to that, she finds it very difficult to exist. She loves so deeply that she actually adopts their opinions, their taste, their sense of rhythm and timing, and her life goes up and down. So she loses her husbands and falls into some deep trouble when she doesn't have anyone to inspire her. So it's how her life goes. And when it was written, it was very controversial because it was written in 1899 and women's suffrage was coming forth, and Tolstoy thought that Anton started to write the story ridiculing or pitying Olenka for her excessive, old-fashioned kind of selfless submission, but that he ultimately fell in love with her and found a good reason to have that level of compassion in the world. We decided to do a complete storytelling of it because we wanted to show the transitions a lot, and really because Anton Chekhov as a storyteller has a very strong point of view in a very subliminal way. How his narrator or storyteller speaks and when they choose to become the character it reveals a lot about what Chekhov was trying to give us as an audience, and we felt that we would lose that. In this, the central character really is the storyteller. I think a lot of people don't realize how intricately interwoven Anton Chekhov's text is, and how, for example, if we contemplate cutting this story, it's almost impossible because by the last third of the story, every single phrase is linking into something prior to it. And I think when the average public sees the Cherry Orchard or something like that, they don't feel that, how all those little things are linking into each other as as much as one does in one of his short stories. It is. It absolutely is. It is our hope. I mean, this goes through quite a bit of pathos in her ups and downs. Her downs are really, really down. And it's part of the challenge is, for us, is we really want the humor, but we don't want to become clown. We don't want to go into the clowning. I was a professional clown for 12 years in New York. It's really easy for me to slide into clowning. So that's how to make the strong choices with the characters and the strong transitions with the characters, but stay true to the humanity of the characters. And we offer the Michael Chekhov Theater Institute, which is a training program for actors, teachers, and directors. And we have the longest running teacher certification program in the world. Michael Chekhov, we finally call Misha. He was the nephew of Anton. Anton's oldest brother was Michael's father, and Misha was one of the leading actors in the Moscow Art Theater and was an actual member of the first studio, which was the group of students that developed the method as we know it today. Michael Chekhov diverged extremely from the Americanized version of Stanislavski's work because he had a very dysfunctional upbringing. And the idea of recalling something from your personal life was not tenable for him. It was devastating. And so he went into the world of fantasy. And he integrated the search that the whole Moscow Art Theater group was on in terms of prana, energy management, transformation, deep transformation through a consistent means of inspiration. And so his work is body, mind, and spirit. It's imagination and unification of the physiology and the image into a single expression. So for an actor, there's that time when you get this idea of how you want to do it, and then you go to do it, it just does not come out that way. That is not lack of imagination. It's lack of connection between the image and the body's ability to express the image. So Chekhov's technique goes strongly to resolve that problem. I think everyone ultimately needs to assemble their own, but there are actors, people like Johnny Depp and Anthony Hopkins, who love Michael Chekhov's inspiring approach. Some of our old Hollywood stars were coached by Michael Chekhov, Marilyn Monroe, and Gary Cooper, Anthony Quinn, Patricia Neal. Many people. He was a major coach in Hollywood after he escaped from Russia, because he was going to be put to death in the Soviet because these ideas of mind and body merging and imagination and stuff were not acceptable. So he's still considered the greatest actor Russia ever produced. A lot of our great actors like Elizabeth Taylor and Ingrid Bergman and Jack Nicholson, they didn't talk about their work with Michael Chekhov because even in the United States it was considered pretty far out. Anyone who's interested and passionate about learning more about Michael Chekhov can come and join us and come and check out our training. I myself have adapted Michael Chekhov's essentially theater-oriented training into film and television because that's where I made my living for 30 years. Acting, and so I've got applications that apply to headshots, to networking and marketing, to your auditions on film or on stage, to commercials, all kinds of ways that you can use it.